Under the guise of freedom, women were made to think they are expressing themselves, but actually fell under men's subservience. Epstein's debasement of women and pedophilia stems from the social system that created him. This liberal system has failed. The Epstein Files, perhaps the most scandalous conspiracy of our time, that actually turned out to be true. And everyone is talking about who's on the list, how Epstein's really died, but all the while missing the elephant in the room. How could this even happen? And how can we fix this? The West polices the world about women's rights, boasting about their societal values, which they claim upheld civility and order. The files prove them wrong. And if we want to uncover why this happened, we need to look at the root of the problem, the social system of the Western ideology itself. In Europe, the Americas, and largely across the world, one system dominates everything. That is liberalism, the idea that you're free to do as you like. But this is where the problem begins. You see, because they allow total freedom, the restrictions that protects the vulnerable and prevents predators from exploiting them are given free rein. We do not blame the victims. But there's a point everyone is missing here. When these girls were groomed and flown across the world to Epstein's Island exploited, away from their home, where were their parents, family, or anyone who cared for them? Unfortunately, nowadays, parents don't have any rights to account their children. They could no longer tell their daughters to come home by a certain time, avoid certain people, dress modestly, because this is frowned upon. And whilst in an ideal world this would be fine, it was the worst decision to make, because just as women were let free, so was hedonism, and also the sexual revolution was promoted. So what makes these two things dangerous together? By pushing sexualization in society and premarital fornication, it meant both boys and girls were trapped into the rat race for the opposite gender. Hypersexualization fostered perversion in some men, what we call perverts and creeps today. They were born from these ideas. But this wasn't the only problem. Women were also affected. Liberal freedom and feminism was presented as empowerment. So women started to see family building as obstacles to her freedom and going out to work as her path to success in life. To appease the opposite gender, they began pursuing a particular body type, a specific diet, and surgery to fix what they viewed as imperfections. Under the guise of freedom, women were made to think they are expressing themselves, but actually fell under men's subservience. Men are those who design the clothes, define false beauty, and shape standards. This struggle led to depression, mental health issues, even suicide. It didn't just destroy lives, it opened a new black market for exploitation. As free mixing between the genders became prominent, the black market for sexual abuse became status quo. And this is what the Epstein file exposes. You see, Epstein's debasement of women and pedophilia stems from the social system that created him, where the perception of women became one of exploitation in every level of the society, from showing nudity to sell a chocolate bar or a fast car, to domestic abuse by their own partners. From the elite echelons of the society to the politicians to the educated and uneducated, all perceived women as a commodity of objectification and expandable. This liberal system has failed. And the solution is not to mend what is broken. It is to establish a new system. The Islamic system promotes a different route to this endemic issue. A system that rips out the roots, not the branches. To truly understand this, we need to look at the key social principles. The idea of honoring, dignifying, and designating a specific role for women in Islam isn't about making them second class. It's about enshrining them as special, not objects of abuse. The principle of segregation, Khulwa and Gheerah, ensure that women are dignified in society. Khulwa, the prohibition of men and women who have no relationship being together in a secluded space without a third party present. This avoids the risk of abuse, preventing inappropriate behaviors which could cause sexual assaults, relationship breakup, or cheating. Gheerah ensures men are held accountable. They feel the need to protect, support, and ensure the safety of their wives, their sisters, mothers, protecting the dignity of women from predators in society. Men are obliged to respect women by lowering their gaze and having etiquettes and mannerism when interacting with them. But responsibility can't lie solely with the public. Islam places great responsibility on the family as well. Parents must understand that letting your daughters go free will not be liberal, will not mean keeping her safe. Parents are obliged to look after their children with a specific responsibility and accountability to God with defined boundaries. In that way, a strong barrier is created to fend off people like Epstein who want to take advantage of vulnerable women. Yet, the most important aspect to protecting women from abuse actually lies with women who hold liberal ideas. The concept of hijab, modesty, haya, self-dignity are enshrined in Islamic law, which acts as a barrier to safeguarding their privacy and honor. They don't flaunt their bodies, seek attention, or become comfortable with the opposite gender. And if you have any doubts in my claim, just listen to what Western historians and Orientalists had to say about the honorable state of Muslim women. For example, French historian Gustave Le Monde said Muslim women enjoyed a status of honor and independence unknown in other civilizations of the medieval period. Travelers like Ibn Battuta boasted in West Africa women were respected and able to move freely with dignity. Their honor is protected by the customs of the land. What you must fundamentally understand is that the actions and the norms of society are determined by the principles that underpin it. The Western social system has ingrained hypersexualization by unraveling modesty and preaching absolute freedom. Hence, what can you expect other than Epstein?